Good morning, everyone. We are talking about a very serious topic this morning, addiction, and what your options are when it comes to recovery. Our friends from Sober Recovery are back. Please welcome Greg Hanley, Daniel Baldwin, and Alex Rahici. Good morning.
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 Y'all look so nice. Everyone's in a suit today.
I don't know what happened. They always look so good. You always look so good.
So
and I come in with like a hoodie on.
You look good. Y'all look very snazzy this morning. Thanks for being here. Okay, so I wanted to start off with a topic we've talked about before. Greg, we've discussed this, and that's the heroin epidemic here in our country. It's something that you all feel very passionately about. You've personally seen the effects, people that have been affected by it and their families. And there's some new stats out from drugfree.org, and they say that drug overdose is the leading cause of injury death in the U.S. 1 in 4 teens has misused or abused a prescription drug at least once in his or her lifetime. And in the U.S., prescription opiate abuse costs are about $55.7 billion, and I would assume that includes heroin as well, right?
Well, yeah, it's a lot of people are talking about it now, and some really crazy, unusual things are being done right now that I can't even imagine that this is happening.
Right.
And so it's really, I'm taking a look at what's going on. Most of the young people that come in, and probably everybody's talking about how bad the heroin epidemic is, and a lot of what the solution is to give medicine that you get addicted to and not have treatment is kind of the standard of what I'm hearing.
Is that like the medication therapy? Is that what we're talking about?
You know, medication therapy is kind of a nice way to sell medicine, I guess.
Got it.
Because it's really not cool. All it is, so the $1.8 billion that everybody's talking about they're putting for this bad heroin epidemic, when you take a look at it, it says to give people pretty much, I got a feeling it's Suboxone. And
yeah, that's what I was reading.
So
yeah.
Suboxone is it's a drug that it's supposed to be used for detox.
Right.
But if you put somebody on it, they say that it is kind of a maintenance thing, so you don't want to use heroin. But the truth of the matter is that you get addicted to the Suboxone.
That's what I was going to ask you. Can't you get addicted to that then?
Well, yeah, it's really, really addicting. And the worst part of it is that, so you think of young people who are the ones that are going to be using this, sooner or later they're going to run out of it, or they're going to they forgot to go to the store, whatever the deal is. Sooner or later, every single one that I've seen that gets on a Suboxone maintenance program, sooner or later they don't have it in their hand, and
it runs out eventually.
And they immediately go back to heroin, and you got to be able to afford it. So if you were going to do that, and here's the thing: is that a craziest thing I saw is that Narcan now in 12 states is
over the counter.
Over the counter at CVS.
I read that.
So Narcan is a anti-overdose drug. It's and I'm pretty sure that it's probably it's a classified drug that you have to inject. So you can go in. So a solution to the heroin problem is have overdose drugs. I mean, I can't go get a heavy nose spray at CVS, but I can get Narcan.
Right.
It's that bad. I had a company call me from New Jersey to see if I wanted to invest in a drone Narcan delivery company.
So it comes to you then?
So that when your kid is overdosing in the bathroom, you dial this number and a drone comes and drops you off Narcan. And I'm going, it's insane that this is happening, because there's other things that are happening that are contrary to the treatment that you want to provide. But the Narcan and making Suboxone, I mean, Suboxone maintenance program is
not a good idea.
I'm going, are you kidding me? So all you're doing is changing drug dealers is all you're doing.
Gotcha.
This is history repeating itself in many fields. Unfortunately, we try to treat the short term with this. If we all close our eyes, we can remember back in the 60s when we thought it was a good idea for certain behavioral things to strap you down to a cot and stick a rubber ball in your mouth and electrocute you.
Yeah, that wasn't so good.
Electroshock treatment was
Oh,
the
yeah.
way to stop certain psychological disorders. Then we went, gosh, maybe electrocuting people isn't the best thing for this. This is no different than that. We're going, instead of treating the problem, we're going to treat a symptom with something that's short-term and fast that makes pharmaceutical companies money.
We heard a good one yesterday. They used to treat different problems by putting leeches and saying that, oh, the leeches will suck the
They'll
blood
just
out.
suck the poison
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the answer to stuff.
But the Suboxone and the drug therapy, that's been around for a while, has it not?
Yeah, it's been around for a while, and so there's different opinions on it. I know
Yeah.
doctors that think it's the greatest thing. Originally, when I came here and I was looking for a doctor to administer it through detox, so we'll use it in detox. It offsets the really bad detox symptoms that you have. So and it's got to be administered really specifically. So you have a 24-hour window for when somebody is gotten off the heroin or off the opiates, and you've got to do certain things where you check their eyes, their temperature, if they're sweating, and right at a specific time, you administer that, and it counteracts the detox symptoms or
But it's doctor supervised.
so they don't have to suffer. Well, if you do it too soon, it throws them into detox. That is, it's the worst thing. It's really, really bad. Well, it's very expensive. It's hard to get, and it's for sure not the solution.
And keep in mind, please, that under the guise of SOBA, you were immediately put on a program where, let's just say, for instance, there's one tablet. After a couple of days, it's down to half, then a quarter, and then you're off it in a week or so, and done, so that you're on nothing.
Get on it, get over the hump, and get off it, and
and
go on. Otherwise, you're still hostage to another drug.
Gotcha. Okay, guys, stick around, everyone. We will talk more with Greg and Alex and Daniel after the break.
Even Daniel.
Even Daniel.
And we are back with SOBA Recovery. We're just covering some trending topics and a story that we came across, which is so interesting, and I have to get y'all's opinion on this. This is out of New York. There's a political conversation about having supervised locations for heroin use in a city in New York. The city says that they are taking the necessary steps to combat the heroin addiction. Opponents of it are saying that the plan encourages drug use. I would assume you would think this was a bad idea, Greg.
I was shocked, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you realize what that means. It's that you go to a heroin shooting location.
Right. It's just supervised.
That has a doctor there. So if you overdose, you don't have to die.
How is this helpful, though? How is this helping the problem?
Think about this. All of these things that they're talking about, solutions, are related to a drug that somebody is selling and somebody has to buy. So I would say invest in the Narcan company that makes Narcan or Suboxone if this is a solution. But I don't even know how to respond to the fact that that my best solution, and this in a little city in New York, they're so out of ideas that they go, come and shoot it where you're not going to die.
But Greg, and tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, you're far more learned in this than I am, and that is, because of certain situations that are occurring now nationally when it comes to insurance, they're trying to figure out ways to battle this because we can't keep them into recovery. Explain what I'm trying to say.
Where does insurance come in then?
And this is something that viewers need to think about and they need to know. So in the midst of this, there's all this chatter about heroin, and the governors are getting together. The president is talking about it.
On Monday, he's
the
going to meet with
candidates for president are saying there's this horrible bad thing. Well, what they don't know is on the other side of it, that many insurance companies, most of them, they don't allow an admit for somebody who heroin is their only thing to residential treatment. They believe it's an outpatient situation. So, and I've been doing this for a while. There's not a single heroin addict that is going to be able to, and especially a 22-year-old kid or whatever, that is going to go to an outpatient 3 days a week and get off of heroin.
Of course not.
They're
You
not
need to
going to be
stay
able to
there.
do that, first of all. And then the worst thing, so you have over on this side, the governors talk about everybody, well, the insurance companies on the other side, and pretty across the board, are shortening the length of stay. So now, so think of this. Now, and when we've been on the show 50 times talking about short-term 30-day treatment doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
60-day treatment for these guys doesn't work. What the insurance companies are allowing right now, unless the parents or people who are vested in it really complain, is they're allowing for 4 days of detox and 10 days of residential
lucky.
treatment.
That's it.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, you get 14 days of treatment and then go home.
How can anyone
So,
go through recovery?
and they're really adjusting the benefits on the insurance companies, so it's very, very difficult, and unless you have a really great staff, which we do, and the staff has had to go. I had insurance verifiers, I had 3 or 4 that was doing this. It's such a intense job that we had to hire 15 more just to do the verifications and fight to get the days. And a big part of the fight is when the insurance companies say you can't stay any longer, we have the parents, and they go, well, the doctors have reviewed this and decided it's not medically necessary for more than 15 days of treatment. And you go, well, what is the necessity? Well, we can't tell you that. And it's kind of like they're making it up. And so we're getting the parents or the people that are involved in this, or the patients when this happens, to get on the phone and complain to the case managers, because I want them to answer to somebody.
Right.
Because it's unimaginable if you think of what it takes to get somebody into
That's
treatment.
what I was going to say. All that work and everything they've been through, and their families, and they finally get them into treatment, and they say, "Sorry, you can
You're a
only stay
parent.
for 10 days."
Your parents
Like
say,
your
I
child.
can't even imagine going up going, you know, I'm really sorry, I know your kid or whoever has all, and there's so many problems that hadn't even addressed. They're still, it's not even.
We're not talking about whether or not they're going to cover the paint on a bumper here.
Right.
You know, we're not talking about whether it should be the new updated bumper, which costs more. We're not paying that. We're talking about facing somebody who's telling you your kid is going to die, and I'm sorry, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Complain
I can't
about
even
it.
imagine.
If you have somebody in treatment anywhere, and you're hearing those phone calls, and you know the other opposite side is, and this is a really good one, is that in that process, when they say we're not going to keep somebody there, if the treatment center keeps somebody in that shouldn't get moved, they get in trouble for
The
it.
treatment center gets in trouble.
Yeah.
Wow, guys.
So, but I'm
wow.
seeing parents. So I had somebody who, after, well, you know, we'll talk about it in the next.
Okay, there you go. Greg says we're going to break, so we will. We're going to take a
We're going to break.
and we'll be right back with Sober Recovery. And welcome back. We are back with Sober Recovery, and I want to pick up kind of where we left off, Greg, if we could do that. We were talking about insurance and the fact that so many times, or now, people come in to recovery, and the majority of the time, insurance just won't cover the treatment that is necessary for people.
Well, no, it's still covering it, but it is, you need to make sure that you're going to a place that has significant administrative that's able to get that time. And the other thing is that be aware that you can complain and you can get extra time.
So that's what people need to know, is they need to voice their
For sure.
opinion. They need to
And
make
it-
calls and
It doesn't
make
matter whether
known.
they're with me or with anywhere. If they're getting a phone call from the treatment center saying the insurance ran out, and usually what the call would look like at most places is, so your insurance ran out, if they want to stay here, we need money, and it's a lot. And but when the parents or when somebody complains, I had a kid the other day that they wanted to drop the level of care in 10 days, and the dad called up and just raised Cain with them, and they gave him 28 more days, which was,
Wow, okay.
you know, it was a reasonable length of time. you're not going to do anything in 10 days. And so
You're just getting over a detox. I mean,
yeah, but we know how to do it. We still do long-term care, which is a necessary thing. We're seeing here in Texas now that we've been here a couple of years, that we have people who are sober a couple of years, and we have a lot of ones that are being very successful. Weekly, we're seeing ones that,
Yeah, our alumni is growing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's
our very
wonderful.
first guy.
Our very first guy, I'm not saying names or anything.
Yeah.
He called the other day, and yeah, it's just awesome.
that's
Yeah.
good.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Doing
2
really
years
well.
he has now.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really, really good news. So,
Look at the smile that brings to
I
everybody's
know.
face.
Well, because this is
I mean, that's a
life
success
work.
story.
Yeah.
That's why we're so. We don't want to get involved in any he said, she said, nitpicking with insurance companies. We just want to help people.
Yeah.
And that's what we thought they were there for our families and to help us. And it's changing.
well, we're not going to let it change.
Right.
So we're going to do the right things. We're going to get a voice in this too. And it was funny, the other...
We're going to sober-duce it.
Yeah, yeah.
gonna
So we'll be
sober-duce
in the
it.
fight. And it wasn't funny, but my daughter is 15, and so we had somebody who, and I asked her, somebody had called in, and they had multiple problems and I can ask you. So somebody called in, and they have been a polysubstance abuse user, intravenous heroin addict for 3 years, polysubstance and multiple, so they were using all kinds of drugs. They have a bipolar condition.
This is one person.
And they're suicidal.
Oh my goodness.
So, what would you think? So, you think that person should be able to? They need to go into treatment immediately.
Right
What
now.
the answer from the insurance company was, well, they've never been to treatment before, so they need to go to outpatient and fail first.
Right.
That was really a response. And
Understand
so
what
it was-
fail means. Fail means they may not get back.
Right,
Yeah,
they
they might
may
die.
not live.
Somebody
My
with
God.
those three conditions, say that's your kid.
Oh.
So
Well, I'd be on the phone,
He's
that's
so
for
messed
sure.
up that he wants to
Yeah.
kill himself, and they're saying maybe 3 days a week in an outpatient. Well, let him fail at that. It's not that they might; they're probably not going to
Yeah.
make it. I think if you told the kid he couldn't come, and if the kid is ready to come, and it's kind of like, and what do we do when you have a parent that is on the phone begging you
Right.
to save?
course.
Well, you know what we do is the right thing still.
You always do.
Yeah, it's just the right thing to do. So
You always do,
Ethically,
Greg, and that's why we
morally.
love you. And we love everything that Sober Recovery is doing here in San Antonio, but throughout the country. And stick around, everyone, because we are going to talk to the gentleman here. And if you or someone you love is battling an addiction right now and you don't know where to turn, you don't know what to do, we have that answer after the break. Welcome back. We are back with Greg, Alex, and Daniel with Sober Recovery. And I mentioned earlier before the break, gentlemen, if there's someone who they feel like they are battling an addiction, if they have a child, a loved one who is really suffering right now, they don't know where to turn. They don't know what to do. What can they do today?
Just like always, it starts with a phone call. Call in, somebody will help and guide them with what to do and where to go.
You're always answering the phones at Sober Texas, day or night, right? There's always someone there.
Always somebody there.
Usually
Yep.
it's Alex himself. He may answer the phone.
Sometimes.
And from there, I mean, can you really talk to people and walk them through, the situation and kind of figure out with them what the best path is?
Absolutely. Whoever's answering the phone can. And it exactly what we keep talking about, the heroin epidemic. It's 9 out of 10 phone calls. So it seems to be the exact same, similar conversation.
Okay, well, all you got to do is give them a call. And again, that number is there on your screen. It's 866-547-6451. They also have a website, sobatexas.com. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. It's always wonderful to see you.
Great to see
You always
you.
have
Yeah,
great
thanks for having
information
us.
for us. And thank you for dressing up. Looking snazzy. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.